Hey guys, so in the last video, I interviewed my friend Alex, and we basically went through his refrigerated food. He showed me some things that were spoiled, and he pretty much showed me all of his food that he eats on a regular basis. Um, and this may not seem like a extraordinary thing, but it does actually contain a lot of microbiology, and it's very relevant to this subject for many reasons. I mean, one, we eat food every day, so we constantly have to be aware of the food within our fridge. So when food is spoiled, it's actually microbes growing on the food, and the food provides them with the optimal environment, whether it's pH, temperature, and some nutrition for them to grow. So spoiled food is actually microbes. This is also very relevant to microbiology in that we need to practice safe food practices, and that's thawing, cooking, etc. I mean, anything that you do has to be a safe food practice, or else spoiled food can cause food poisoning, and pretty much no one wants that, I'm guessing. So in lecture, I learned that all bacteria have optimal temperature ranges in which they survive and thrive. And there's five different classes. There's psychrophils, psychotrophs, mesophils, thermophils, and extreme thermophils. So the microbes that are connected to refrigerated and freezer spoilage are psychrophils, which have an optimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, and psychotrophs, which have an optimum temperature of 25 degrees Celsius. So psychotrophs are mainly associated with food spoilage. So for example, Alex said he had expired eggs and salad, which most likely have the temperature class of psychotrophs growing within them. Furthermore, there's other topics of microbiology that contribute to food spoilage and safe food practices and things like that. So first, we have when microbes are on food, it can be constructive or destructive. So constructive is something like yogurt. There's two specific species of bacteria that actually ferment lactic acid, which produces the yogurt. So that's a constructive. It basically means that it's a good thing. For milk, when that gets spoiled, or meat, when that gets spoiled, that's destructive, which basically means microbes entering the food is not a good thing. And I know I mentioned temperature, but there's actually other optimal environments with regards to acidity. So something like milk, which is very basic, would be considered an alkalophil with a pH of around 8.5 to 11 because of its basic nature. Now, Alex's salad, it contained raspberries, which is a fruit, and fruit are considered acidic, so acidophils would thrive around a pH of about 3. And finally, to wrap this up, something I would like to know more about, um, basically specific foods that are specific microbes within foods that are associated with food poisoning. For example, in the United States, which spoiled foods are most responsible for food poisoning, and what types of bacteria, what species of bacteria are prevalent on those spoiled foods? If I had to guess, it would be spoiled meats, and so poultry, red meat, anything like that that is not really thawed correctly, and that's back to the safe food practices. So if someone just leaves it out at room temperature instead of running it under cold water or in the microwave, and I know cooking is actually very good for safe food practices as well, because it kills many of the microbes. The heat kills many of the microbes. Finally, in the future, I'm pretty curious to see if there's any other invention that's more, let's say, efficient than a refrigerator. I know refrigerators have been around for a while, and I know oftentimes food does get spoiled, as you've seen with Alex's, even though he's a college student, so it kind of makes sense that he had spoiled food in his fridge. But I want to see if there's any other invention that could be more practical and efficient to keep our food from spoiling. That is it on this topic. Thank you.